Today's the type of day, the week, type of week that content creators, media members just love. Eagles win 15-12, but leave plenty to criticize. It's a perfect storm. We got the win and we got stuff to bitch about. We're going to talk all about Eagles' big win against the Saints last night or yesterday afternoon. We're going to overreact to it. We're going to take all your thoughts and opinions. Trending in the AM on Edge of Philly Sports. We're live in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. And it is a very good morning because it's a victory morning. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you are watching on, whichever platform you are watching on. Make sure you hit that like button, that share button, that follow or subscribe button, that retweet button. Get the word out. Let everybody find and get in this morning. The number one Sports Philadelphia morning show there is, whether it's on the dial or online, Trending in the AM, guys. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. You can find me on all social media platforms at Bearded Knowledge. It's listed right there below my face there. Guys, shoot me a follow. You never know what I am going to talk about on a given day on Twitter there, so it's always appreciated if you shoot me a follow, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, wherever, guys. Try to do a better job of putting out more TikTok and short videos on there, too. So make sure you guys find me. Eagles win, and it's Overreaction Monday, and there is so much to overreact to. 15-12, the Eagles hold on and barely squeeze out a win down in New Orleans, Louisiana, against the Saints. Barely hold on. And there's so much good, bad, ugly, and in between to dissect. And today, it's Monday, so we are just going to overreact to it. We're just going to have fun today. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll dissect the X's and O's a little bit more. We'll get into the finer details as the week goes on. But I don't want to. Last year, I got into a lot of trouble throughout the year on this show, saying a win's a win, and ugly wins, and ugly, it's still a win, etc. And I don't want to take that same narrative today. But there's always a but. There's a lot of people upset with the Eagles' win from yesterday. And I just want to put this out there. How many people going into the week hyped up how great the Saints team were? And then we barely beat this Saints team. We make some mistakes. We make some great plays. Well, if they were a great team, did you expect? Why did so many people expect us to win by 40? This was a really good Saints team that had put up 91 points over the first 2 weeks. We held them to 12 points. We're the first team to stop Alvin Kamara. We're the first team to stop Derek Carr this year, but it's not good enough. So I am going to try to keep a positive spin on it as best I can today. There's plenty of negative to get into. Coaching decisions, turnovers in the first half, injuries. Oh, my God, the injuries are scary as hell going forward here. But we're going to get into it all, and we're just going to start tapping right into the comments. Good morning, Little G. That is right. We are 2-1. We are in first place in the NFC East. From last night, never in my life have I felt so much apathy towards such a boost of a win. Feels like the damn Bills game. I hope not. Brian, yes. I know. You were texting me last night. Like, seriously, like, got by the skin of our teeth. If this was government, Stoutland University would be getting the subsidies long before Dude, to have Lane Johnson and Mekhi Becton, your entire right side of your offensive line, go down in the first half, you insert Tyler Steen and Fred Johnson, and they don't skip a beat. In fact, they might have played a little bit better than what we had. I mean, it was that was something special there, Nooms, how those two guys stepped up. Seems Pee Wee football coach stuff to me. Yeah, some of the play calling, not the play. Well, we can get into the play calling from Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. I've got criticisms on Vic Fangio's play calling as well. But the fourth downs, going for it 3 times, and the one time you kick the field goal, it's from 60-plus yards. There's aggression, and there's just aggressiveness for the sake of being aggressive. And there's a little too much aggressiveness from Nick Sirianni yesterday, and we're lucky that it didn't backfire. There are going to be a lot of people calling, even after a win, for Nick Sirianni's head. It's rightfully so to an extent. That game was won in the trenches, absolutely. Truly admire how prepared our Eagles team was for that game. My confidence has been restored. The defense and offensive line dominated yesterday. Opening up holes for Saquon when they barely let him touch the ball. The defensive line got pressure. What were some of my keys to the game on Friday, Rick? Put pressure on Derek Carr. Stop Alvin Kamara at the line of game. At first contact. And they did that all throughout the game. It was great to see. Great to see. The defense being night and day was exciting, but also really confusing. Al, I thought this, Big Al. I'm like, where was this defense last week? Or even week 1? Like, it was a totally different ballgame. It's like the Eagles defense just listened to nothing but sports talk all week and soaked all that in and used that for added motivation. So let's crush them even more. Who are we going to crush now on defense to get them fired up for next week? I mean, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and Zach Bond, who's been good all year, and Nakobe Dean and Milton Williams and Brandon Graham playing like he's 25, not 35. Dominated the game. An unstoppable Saints offense got stopped. All wins are beautiful. The fan base better appreciate it, or the universe will reward them with the inverse. I think that might be what kind of happened last year, right? I got criticized for saying an ugly win is still a win last year, and then nobody else liked that, so then the world imploded, on the Eagles. Your boy Hurts is hurting this team. No more. So I knew somebody, didn't know it was going to be Brian or somebody else, was going to come in here and criticize Jalen Hurts' 2 turnovers. And yes, his 2 turnovers were atrocious. That throw to Devontae Smith, I know Greg Olsen broke it down where it was on Devontae Smith some. You just can't do it. I know that. But the emotionless Jalen Hurts, the going gets tough. It is bad. He loses 2 starting offensive linemen. He loses his number 1 wide receiver, and then in the game, his second wide receiver. He's losing pieces everywhere. Loses Britton Covey in the game. So there's 5 offensive players out in the second half, and he was able to hold it together and lead game-winning drives. The moment never affects him, right? So, yes, you can criticize those turnovers. Terrible. I already lost my pen. 2 minutes into the show, and I'm losing my pen already. It's a good thing I got pens on backup here. But you also then have to flip the script and give him credit where credit is due for how well he played in the second half of the football game. Let's not take that away from him. Okay? Hurts tried honey badger. Look, it was not an ideal throw. But how much of that's on Hurts? How much is that on Devontae? How much of it is on A.J. Brown being out? And that route should not be called by Kellen Moore because you don't have A.J. Brown there. So I put that interception on Jalen Hurts. But you got to put some of the blame on Kellen Moore. And we talked about this last week. You can't call certain plays, when certain personnel aren't out there. You can't put a round peg into a square hole. So some of it is on Jalen Hurts. Maybe he's got to pivot and audible off of it and just, go over the head of the offensive coordinator. But if the offensive coordinator calls a play, and that is what he wants, it's on Jalen to run the play, right? Now, it was a bad throw. It was a timing throw that should never have been good. Why is Philly? Exactly. I'm happy from yesterday. I've got criticisms of the game. But we beat a very good New Orleans Saints team that, yes, put up 91 points the 2 previous weeks. We dominated them on the line of scrimmage, offensively and defensively. Jalen Hurts came up big when necessary. Dallas Goedert heard the criticism. Jalen Carter heard the criticisms. What's up, Bruce Bryce Harper? Hope you are well. Another win, and everyone is still complaining. There's reasons to complain at times, but you got to at least try to enjoy the victory. Like, I put out a post yesterday on Twitter. There was the Nick Sirianni speech after the game, and how I'm like, all right, well, this speech gave him 2 days of grace period or whatever from me. I'm ready to run through a wall from everyone. What the hell? How dare you let him off the hook and blah. I'm like, guys, why can't we just enjoy the win? People get upset when I overly react to a loss. Now I'm not allowed to overreact to a win. Like, why can't we ever be happy? I feel we have many injured offensive players, and nobody but you was talking. Dude, the injuries that occurred yesterday and the fact that Jalen Hurts and company were able to overcome them and still pull out a victory. Come on now. You lost not two-thirds, what's 2 out of 5? That's 40% of your offensive line. I'm trying to do first grade math here, and I'm struggling this morning. You lost 40% of your offensive line in that game. Early in that game. And didn't miss a beat. Devontae Smith, we could talk about that hit a lot throughout this show. Takes that hit, and what does he do? He still marches down the field. I mean, give credit where credit's due. Jalen Carter was making Cesar Ruiz look awful yesterday. Exactly. Jalen Carter, where was that Jalen Carter all year for the first 2 weeks? I mean, all right, maybe week 1, the turf was an issue. That wasn't Jalen Carter last week. I know Jalen Carter told the media he was trash. And he was going to use that as motivation. But damn. Like, I expected a better game from Jalen Carter, but I didn't expect, like, that was like a Hall of Fame level game. In the backfield, batting. What did I say on Friday? Get your hands up, right? Because you're not going to sack Derek Carr often because he gets rid of the ball quickly. So get your hands up. And I think Jalen Carter had 2. I think Jordan Davis, I saw 3 or 4 batted balls at the line of scrimmage. Jalen Carter had 2 of them. Just an utter dominance of a performance. The pass to Devontae was thrown to a spot, and he was trusting Devontae to get to that spot. Absolutely. Devontae should never have been put in that position, and Jalen Hurts should never have been put in that position. It was a bad play call. AJ catches that, or at least breaks it up. Exactly. Anthony, you're spot on. And this is what I've been saying. Like, it was a bad interception. You can't keep turning it over, even if it's not your fault. There's something with Jalen Hurts. He has all bad interceptions. He never has a good interception. There's a difference. Let me explain. A good interception is like a batted ball or a drop ball that gets picked off, or, he gets hit as he's thrown, picked off. Every one of Jalen Hurts' interceptions are bad interceptions, like right to a defender. But sometimes it's the play call. And he's just doing what the offense is supposed to do. Phil, also our D stepped up big time. Massively. I mean, we could talk all about Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis all we want. But how about freaking Brandon Graham? He's not 35. He's playing like a 25-year-old out there. And yes, Bryce Huff's snaps came down, which was great. I still can't believe Alex Hunt didn't get a snap with how bad Bryce Huff was. It was late in the game, and they put Bryce Huff back out there. And it was just a straight out, pressure the quarterback. And he got pancaked to the ground so easily. I think a third grader could have stopped him there. So Brandon Graham found the fountain of youth. Like Vic Fangio said during training camp, this ain't no victory lap retirement tour for him. He can still go, and he's going to go. I love it. Saints are a dirty team, dirty hits. The spitting on, I didn't see it till much later after the game. And the dirty hit on Devontae Smith, I know people want to talk about it. I don't know if it was as bad of a hit as people think. He was really trying to hit him in the back and shoulder, yet after he fouled through the back and shoulder, a little helmet contact. I want to blame the referees for that hit more than anything else. Because the referees could have blown that play dead for 2 seconds, and they didn't. And that gave the Saints an opportunity to take that borderline dirty hit. And then after the hit, another Saints defender jumped on top of him like a freaking, Uso splash off the top rope. Where were the flags on those things? So it was a borderline dirty hit. I don't think there's an intention to harm Devontae Smith there. There's a difference between trying to harm somebody and not. I put the blame on that hit on the referees. Should have blown that dead. Look, don't throw it. I get it. It sounds easier. And then what happens? Then we say that Jalen Hurts holds on to the ball in the pocket too long. Or Jalen Hurts and Kellen Moore aren't on the same page. Or there's a disconnect there. So once you start doing it that way, then there's another argument to be made against Jalen Hurts. Sometimes you just got to run the play that's there. We're going to realize that, what? I'm sorry, realize what? Sorry. Loving, I'm trying. No is not as good as people blew them up to be. No is not as good as people blew them up to. Oh, New Orleans. Sorry, I'm like, whoa. Like, I'm making eye contact, but I'm not reading properly. New Orleans. I said that they were going to level out. I said they're a good team, not a 91-point team. Okay? So there's that. Why have we not promoted Joseph Nagata to start? Well, we might be in that position next week, Cameron. And thanks for the comment. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, following wherever you're watching. I would expect Devontae Smith probably to miss next week. Originally, A.J. Brown wasn't going to be coming back till after the bye. So you can't go. You're going to have to promote somebody. And I don't know the situation with Britton Covey's shoulder. So right now, you've got Johanna Dotson, Paris Campbell. That's it. Active. So you're probably going to have to, and Johnny Wilson. And so you're probably going to have to promote Nagata next week. I doubt you could bring somebody off the street to fill in as quickly as Nagata could, as what he is. So maybe. Yeah, imagine being a Cowgirls fan this morning. Eagles are in first place, guys. The only team in the NFC East with 2 wins. And I'm 3-0 with my preseason predictions. I went win, loss, win for the Eagles to start. So it's a beautiful morning. Let's enjoy it, right? Nagata was balling. Nobody talked about whether he should get lined up at the X. Well, look. Nagata, will have a role next week. He's going to have to. He's going to have a role next week. But let's be honest, Nagata is a practice squad guy. Nagata is not an elite player or anything. He can fill in a role, but let's not expect a big game from him or anything. Jalen Carter is a goon in a good way. He's a badass. He was one scary bleepity bleeper. You know that. If there was ever an example of winning despite a head coach yesterday, it was a complete and total example of that. Look, if you want to get negative, I always say that the Phillies win despite Rob Thompson because talent wins out. Maybe there's a little of that feeling starting to creep into my back of my brain on Nick Sirianni as well. Nick Sirianni is a super duper a-hole. Look, we can criticize the 4 fourth down decisions a lot. And there's the 2 that stand up. To me, the 2 that pissed me off the most was the not kicking the field goal at the end of the half to tie the game 3-3 when you're getting the ball back to start the second half. And then finally using Jake Elliott, but from 60, 61 yards? They were 2 bad decisions right there that could have backfired majorly. We lucked out that the defense prevented that. If Trevor Penning doesn't get sued, bro. Bounty's still in effect in New Orleans, yeah. I wasn't even thinking of that, K1. That's a good pull. Bounty Gate still exists. Okay. Depends on Cameron. It depends on the seriousness of Devontae Smith. If they think Devontae Smith can be back after the bye, you've only got 1 game and then you've got the bye. So as long as you can survive 1 week, 1 game without Devontae Smith, it's not necessary. You're not going to get Michael Thomas in here on today, sign him to tomorrow, and have him up to speed by Sunday. So it's just not necessary. You got to have faith in Johnny Wilson. You got to have faith in you bring in John. You trade a 3rd-round pick for Johanna Dotson. Time to get him involved. Paris Campbell, get him involved. If you think that your wide receiver is going to miss a significant amount of time, then you do this. But right now, it's too soon to even make this idea up. Sirianni needs to go, man. The sooner, the better. Can't we enjoy today, Thebes? Can't we enjoy today? Let's enjoy the win. Let's smell the roses. And then tomorrow we can talk about should Nick Sirianni be fired. Let me enjoy it today. Well, we've been saying the Phillies are going to clinch the NL East for like 3 straight days, so they haven't done it. I think a good number of fans were still processing the constant level of incompetence of their head coach, that they couldn't enjoy the moment. Those fans had tuned it all out. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to enjoy the win, Nooms. I'm trying to win. I'm trying to enjoy the fact that we had 5 guys go down in the game, and we still found a way to win. Darius Slay, we haven't even mentioned the Darius Slay. Now there's a cheap shot. And the Greg Olson and whatever the other guy's name were mentioning how second week in a row that offensive lineman for the Saints has done the same thing, driven a guy out of bounds and injured them. Now, hopefully Darius Slay's okay. Because, boy, that would be a problem, too. Literally, Darius Slay's out first play. Saints go right after Keely Ringo, who filled in for him, and attacked him for a big play. Now, there's a dirty play. Live in the moment, though. I mean, the fact that this team was able to dig deep with everything going against them, let's enjoy it. For one day, 24 hours. Can you please give me 24 hours of enjoying a win? I'm trying to discuss it fairly. I mean, trust me. If you follow me you should follow me on Twitter if you're on Twitter, Bruce. I get passionate in the moment of every game. I probably put out 65 in-game tweets yesterday. It's what I do in the moment. And yes, I criticize in the moment and I compliment in the moment. But in the morning, we're going to discuss this fairly, as objectively as we can. I see and all the people that are bringing the negatives about Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, those negatives they're warranted. I understand them. But right now, I just want to enjoy the victory at this moment. That is what I want to enjoy the most right now. It's just the W. Let's enjoy the W. Let's enjoy the good. Y'all going to love this news. Apparently, Nick Sirianni still calls a few plays. Yeah, he admitted that he called that fake tush push. I saw that. Yeah, that was something right there. I don't know if it's true or not, Cameron. Excuse me. Because I do know that Nick Sirianni also spoke in the press conference and has spoken always how whenever there's a mistake, he takes full blame. So did he say go for it, and that was Kellen Moore's decision, and he's just taking the bullet for Kellen Moore? He does take the bullets for every player and every coach and every decision. At least he tries to. As the CEO head coach, one of his roles is to take the bullets for everybody else from the media. So maybe he called the play. Maybe he was taking a bullet. I'm not sure. We'll have to see when Kellen Moore speaks on Tuesday or Wednesday what he says about that. Underrated hero of last night's game, the Eagles. Deebs, 1,000%. I didn't notice a difference in offensive line production after Lane Johnson and Mekhi Becton went out at all. I was concerned about the depth of our offensive line. I was concerned about Fred Johnson being one of those guys. Stepped right in, no problem. Now, I think Lane Johnson is a serious concern. Conversation throwing up after his concussion. That normally means a pretty serious concussion, which could mean Lane Johnson might be out for a little while. Hopefully Mekhi Becton is back. Maybe you do that. Maybe you slide Mekhi Becton to right guard or right tackle and leave Steen at right guard. Maybe you leave Fred Johnson out there. I don't know what the answer is. We'll have to wait and see as the next couple days go on and they speak to the media and stuff about the injuries. He confirmed it, but he might not have confirmed it. Maybe he's just playing the protection role. Yeah, I don't know. He probably is calling the plays. But I'm also thinking maybe he's just saying that to protect Kellen Moore because that's what he does. Sirianni might be a problem. But despite all that, we still won the game. I say all the time, Rob Thompson's a problem. But the players love him, and they win despite him. Sirianni might be a problem, but they're still winning despite him. The players still seem to love him. Just saying. Look, what are you going to do? Are you going to fire Nick Sirianni? Is anybody really, after 3 weeks of an NFL season, do you really want to fire a head coach? Is going out there literally at halftime I saw 4,000 tweets. Call Bill Belichick up right now. Is bringing in Bill Belichick in week 4 of the NFL season really going to solve all these problems? Or is it just going to cause more confusion? Unless it got really bad, like 0-6, 2-7. There's no need to move on from Nick Sirianni at this point. You got to ride the wave. The highs and the lows you get with Nick Sirianni at this point. Do I love him? No. Did they maybe make a mistake keeping him? Maybe. But at this point, you are stuck with Nick Sirianni. You're not firing Nick Sirianni. I have no idea that Dennis Allen was the kind of coach that promoted 30 play. Yeah. Oh, man. What's up, Pete? Honestly, the way the Saints have been playing, I was expecting a blowout loss. And see, the thing is, I tried to look at the Saints objectively last week and say they're not as 91 point good as their team said, as their stats said. But everybody else said the Saints were amazing. And we went and beat an amazing team according to everybody else. So that makes this a very good win, even with the mistakes. Sirianni should have Dunkin' Donuts sent to every single player on that Eagles defensive line this morning. Dude, defensive line, and how about Saquon? We haven't mentioned Saquon Barkley's name once. Whose decision? Is it Nick Sirianni or Kellen Moore that Saquon Barkley, who had a dominating game, did not get a rushing attempt in the first quarter of the football game, scored the 60-plus yard touchdown, then we went 10, 12 plays without handing it off to him again until we were on the goal line to him again. What was with the lack of running with Saquon Barkley when he's clearly dominating the Saints front? Where is that? Nick decides to go for it on fourth. If he decides to go for it, he then calls the play. So the play, so the way Anthony is describing it, only when they're going for it on fourth down does he call the play. Okay. Never was a fan of the fake tush push plays, even last year. Now, they were saying on the broadcast that maybe he couldn't run the tush push or he wasn't confident yet in the tush push with Fred Johnson and Tyler Steen out there. Now, in the second half, those two guys got their legs under them and were really doing well. Maybe that had something to do with the call. Guys, how can I talk Phillies right now? Phillies got beat up a couple days in a row, and the Eagles won last night. I could care less about the Phillies. I'm more excited the fact that Matt Michkov had 2 assists in the Flyers game last night. Yeah, I know what happened in the Flyers game. Yeah, I didn't watch. I checked the box score. But I know more about that than what happened with the Phillies this weekend. So you're on the road. You're missing key players. Take the damn points in the first half. I agree. Everything said, kick the field goal there to me. Everything. You can't run your go-to tush push because of the injuries. So we're going to run a trickery play. Makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. It's a terrible decision. It could have backfired. We lucked out that it didn't. Jalen Hurts' interception. We lucked out that those things did not backfire. I'm more concerned about the Jalen Hurts fumble than the interception. Because the interception was a bad play call and a bad route. The fumble, he just dropped the ball. That's a lack of. Did you guys see? I didn't watch a lot of the Cowboys-Ravens game, but I watched parts of it. Dak Prescott had just a drop-the-ball fumble. And Tom Brady on the telecast said, that's just a loss of concentration in the pocket. Well, I never did that, but, when a quarterback does that, it's a loss of concentration in the pocket. That was just basically a slam dunk on, like he literally just posterized Dak Prescott there. Same thing, though, translates to Jalen Hurts there. Sirianni makes decisions like a peewee football coach. I'm over him. People kill Rob Thompson. But Sirianni, I kill Rob Thompson. Well, I've kind of tried to stop killing Rob Thompson, even though I've got a lot of. I kind of feel like it's Rob Thompson and Nick Sirianni, Al, are eerily similar. Okay? Eerily similar. We win despite the coach because talent in the end wins out more often than not. It was a monumental win due to the insane amount of players that will probably be out against the Bucs this week. Dude, I think all the Jalen Hurts haters will focus on the interception instead of the fact that offense was able to move the ball, thanks to Saquon Barkley in the offensive line, and some huge plays from Jalen Hurts finding Dallas Goedert. Like, Dallas Goedert had a hell of a game. But to be able to move the ball and the defense to be able to make stops with as many players down, the 2 offensive linemen, Devontae Smith, Britton Covey, Darius Slay. They're the 5 main ones. I might be missing somebody else. I feel like I'm missing somebody else that got hurt in the game. I'm not positive on that. But I mean, just think of that. Your punt returner. And he had a nice, Britton Covey had a nice first down catch too. Caught a short pass, made a little juke move, whatever. Devontae Smith, devastating injury. I think Devontae Smith and Lane Johnson could be out for a little while, for sure. I think Becton might be able to go next week. You saw him on the sideline, still trying to give it a go. Britton Covey, I'm not sure about. Monumental win to be able to overcome that adversity right there. Most people will prefer he threw away or take a sack. If he took a sack, they'd complain he hold on to the ball too long. It was 3rd and 9, and he probably would have gone for it on 4th down though too. I mean, we don't kick field goals on 4th down in this team. I don't care what Nick Sirianni says after a win. I want him to speak to the team after a loss. I know everybody's pissed that I enjoyed the Nick Sirianni press conference. Relax, Mitch. Relax to DJ Eastwood and all the other people that got mad at me for enjoying the post-game speech. God, can't I get excited that the team and the coach is excited? Then Reed Blankenship follows it up with a great speech. Come on, guys. Enjoy the moment. As Deep said, a monumental win. It's a win that defines a season. Yes, we could pick up the pieces and criticize the other stuff down the line. It was a massive win, Mitch. And it's a win that could set the tone for the rest of the season. So you know what? Enjoy the win. If you want to be a grumpy-ass 30-year-old that acts like a 12-year-old with 69 jokes, be my guest. But I'm going to enjoy the moment. I'm going to enjoy Nick Sirianni's speech. I'm going to get fired up just like his players do. Yes, what you're saying is accurate, but in the moment, it's okay to get excited. It's okay to smell the roses. There has to be some kind of discipline laid down, either the Slay play or the Smith play, or the officials for not blowing the whistle. I still say the Smith play, the officials not blowing the whistle is more of an issue than the actual hit. The Darius Slay, the fact that they said it was the 2nd week in a row that same offensive lineman did the same exact thing, the dude should be suspended for that, not just fined. The Devontae Smith play, yeah, it was a bad hit. I don't think it was an intentionally targeting hit or anything. But, yeah, something's got to be done. 100%. That's all we're talking about. Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, Marshawn. So let me have it. Let me have it. And I'll give it right back to you. Stoutland U strikes again. Look, I was concerned with the depth of the offensive line. I was. On a side note, it annoys me so much, the NFL and Fox announcers, no matter which crew it is. If somebody on the opposing team goes down, we find out about it right away. I didn't even hear them mention that Mekhi Becton got hurt and Tyler Steen was out there till like 4 or 5 plays after it had changed over. Like, what takes them so long? Lane Johnson, it was 3 plays before they mentioned Lane Johnson wasn't out there. Like, can't they do a better job of putting this information out there? I didn't even know Britton Covey was out till the second half, especially with the Slay play where they targeted Keely Ringo. Absolutely. Keely Ringo got turned around so easily. I know it's hard to come off the bench cold like that, but man, he got turned. That was like such poor technique on that play from Keely Ringo. Such poor, like he'd spun the. Oh, it was so ugly. I think I could have done a better job. Good morning, Joe. It's a great weekend. When the Eagles win, it's always great. Saints still handing out, obviously, Marshawn. Like, it's got to be, right? It's got to be something like that. I don't even know what to say about it. Like, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Sirianni is a huge part of the self-inflicted wounds and why is a head coach holding back a defensive tackle from arguing with fans. Very undisciplined team. Yeah, I mean, Jalen Carter's emotions definitely get the best of him. And we're going to have problems with that at times at games and in seasons. I'm going to accept it, though, because when he's on the field, Jalen Carter is an unstoppable beast. Unstoppable yesterday. Saints tried to blitz early, and Jalen got the ball out so quick that the Saints totally stopped. Jalen Hurts against the blitz yesterday. I can't wait till the stats. Y'all hear from Shane Haff and all the great analytic guys out there on social media today, tomorrow, and whatnot. I will get all the stats. I can't wait to see the stats of Jalen Hurts against the blitz. I think he did pretty good, eye test wise. I thought Lane Johnson was battling illness. That's what they said. But then they were saying he was throwing up after the hit, and then they ruled him out with a concussion. No, bad concussions, you can start throwing up immediately, from what I understand. And when you start throwing up immediately, it's a serious, serious concussion. Like, I have a feeling that Lane Johnson's concussion could be a 3, 4, 5 week thing, at least. But maybe we're wrong. What's up, Eric? Good morning. Okay, we don't have to fire Nick Sirianni, but the guy got it. Stop killing this team with his over analyzing and doubling down on stupidity. It's almost like he's got this rep of being aggressive, and he feels he's got to keep that rep up. It's okay to be passive at times. Flyers look good. I didn't get to watch the game, obviously with football going on. Then after the game, took the wifey out to dinner. Fantastic dinner last night. Stottsville Inn. You don't know where Eric's a Coatesville guy originally. The Stottsville Inn. Fantastic dinner there last night. Mitch Mania is going to be wild this year. Frost is going to have a great year as well. Dude, I'm excited. It's not going to be long. Not going to be long. Mitch Mania is running wild on you. You like Mitch Madness? All right, sure. To each his own. He had to lose the half the roster to force the coaches to finally put the playmakers in positions. But Thompson doesn't make play calls every play. This cannot survive. Yeah. All right. I get that. I get that way of looking at it, Al. I do. Look, we won. We got issues to resolve, but we won. Saquon is the true engine in this offense. Once Hurts learns to stop playing hero ball, look, can we just hand the ball off to Saquon before the second quarter? Can we stop with the read options? Obviously, Jalen Hurts can scramble and run for first downs, but the read options are the worst freaking play. Jalen Hurts does not know how to make the decision quick enough. See, I can criticize Jalen Hurts, guys. Look, I'm criticizing Jalen Hurts. He does not know how to make the read option read anymore. So just burn the play. We knew this last year. We knew it after week 1. We knew it after week 2. We know it now. Burn the damn play. The read option doesn't work, guys. It's because Jalen Hurts can't make the decision quick enough. He just can't. And Jalen Hurts has the north-south speed and running ability still. But the sideline to get around the defensive end, he just doesn't have that speed anymore. So give it to Saquon. I've never been pulled so strongly in 2 different directions during after. Yeah, exactly. I'm so happy we won, but I understand the criticism, Nooms. I do understand why people are pissed at Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. I get both sides of it. I know people don't want to hear ugly win is still a win like last year anymore. I get it. But I think this win is different than some of the ugly wins last year because of all the adversity this team faced, and they still found a way against what everybody else was saying was a great New Orleans Saints team. When I did my weekly post on Twitter about my score prediction and go Birds, I said, hashtag go Birds if I'm right, hashtag you crazy if I'm wrong. And I got a lot more hashtag you crazies with big Saints blowout scores on Twitter. Because nobody thought the Eagles were going to beat this amazing Saints team. We went in and we won with 5 injuries to key players. That's a monumental win. Yes, there was bad things to fix, but I'm trying to overlook them. Another week where we say Jalen has to be smart with the ball. Again, Marshawn, smart with the ball and the fumble. Again, turnovers are turnovers. They're bad, whatever. I would power rank the fumble as a bigger mistake than the interception. Because the interception was a bad route. It was a bad throw. It was a bad route run by a wide receiver that shouldn't have been in that route to begin with. And 3, it was a bad play call because you don't have your A.J. Brown. You can't call that play to begin with. Everyone's going to take responsibility for that mistake, and I think everybody deserves blame for that mistake. But the fumble, you just can't make that fumble. You can't fumble the ball like that. You just got to hold the ball. Take away 1-2 plays from Jalen Hurts, and he's been excellent this season. It's just that those 1-2 decisions have been killing me. Yeah. What's the record, Deeves? Here, do some background look on this one. What's the most turnovers ever in a season for a Super Bowl quarterback. Because Jalen Hurts is on pace to, what's he got, 5, 6 turnovers in 3 games? Something like that. Like, he's on pace to have like 400 turnovers this year, and he still has the team to him. 1 to 2 plays per. I knew what you mean. I knew what you mean. What's up, Davey? I'm into this team, but Sirianni will be the death of us. He's a freaking clown. Look, I guess we've got to live and die with the way Sirianni is. You are not firing him right now. It's not happening. And he might be the death of us. And if his mistakes cost us in the playoffs, Sirianni will be gone. Plain and simple. But we're going to have to ride with the highs and the lows throughout the season. Enjoy the moment equals the Barry Bonds of a win is a win. Look, you can criticize it, and there's plenty to criticize. There is. But again, Marshawn, there was so much adversity yesterday against a really good team. Not a great team. A very good 2-0 football team. Enjoy the fact that this team was able to overcome all those obstacles and get the W. Right there for you. I got you. Deeps, Jalen's decision-making compounds the horrible play calling. He made one bad decision, and he made one stupid play. Outside of that, Jalen Hurts was able to overcome all that and still lead game-winning drives. Don't forget about that. You know who if you need to lead a game, game-winning drives and success and stuff like that, SherryTickets.com, guys. They are the best. If you need tickets to a sports event, concert, theaters, check them out. SherryTickets.com, family-owned and operated since 1946. Check this out. Use promo code EOP10 at checkout, and it'll save you additional 10% off. They're already great prices. There are no hidden fees. When the price you see, it's the price you pay. And then 10% off on top of that. You don't want to miss out the next time you need sports tickets, concert tickets, theater tickets. Check them out. SherryTickets.com, promo code EOP10. That wasn't my best work. I won't lie. Not my best promo read there. If we didn't already see this movie last year, I think people would be way more fired up. And that's, you know what, Nooms? Very fair comment. Very fair statement. We still have that PTSD from last year. We do. We've been underutilizing Dallas Goedert for years now. He's like, look, I called him out last week saying maybe he's not who he is. And he answered it. I was watching a little bit of NBC Sports Philly pregame show yesterday. And Ron Jaworski was literally reading off what I said word for word. And he came out. Big game. That the big 60-yard grab, great. There was the other crossing the other way where he made that little one-handed catch for a first down. That was amazing. Stupid-ass Marcus Hayes from, was he right for the Inquirer? Out there saying Dallas Goedert got lucky because the Saints defenders ran into each other. You stupid Marcus Haystack. Come on, give credit. It was a perfectly designed play, perfectly executed by everyone. But yet Marcus Hayes out there saying we got lucky on that play. What an idiot toolbag he's become. Yeah, I said it. I'm in Miami Beach not watching the game. What happened? The Eagles won 15-12. Blankenship is getting all the interceptions, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's doing all the dirty work. Look, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had big plays again. He also had some missed tackles again yesterday. CJGJ is the biggest boom-bust player on every single play. He really is. Jalen Carter's the same maturity as Conte? Who's Conte? Who's Conte? Is that a new guy? Is Conte his nickname because he doesn't want to, he have to change his name because he's on the list? Jalen Carter will learn. He's still a big kid, although he's 23 years old. I'm hoping so. Jalen Carter's just such a beast. Just such a beast. Everyone's still firing Vic Fangio. Look, I got a criticism for Vic Fangio. There are a couple times. Like the play where he had, Nakobe Dean out there covering Chris Olave. Like, what are you doing? What's that play call right there, Freddie? But yes, the defense and Vic Fangio stepped up. Stepped up. They heard the criticism and they stepped up. You got to love it. Jalen has a rep of being a turnover machine, and he is doing a fantastic job of upholding it. Yeah. Look, I can't disagree with you. He had 2 more turnovers, but he did lead in the second half. The shorthanded team to victory. So you can look at the negative. You can look at the positive. You can look at it objectively down the middle. You have to take the good with the bad. We're 2-1. Take the good, the bad, and we'll see what the results are. Jalen Hurts' fourth quarter against the Saints, 7 of 10, 112 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Yeah. There was also 2 of 3, 66 yards on the game-winning drive. Yeah. But see, we're going to ignore this, Deebs, because of the interception. which should never have been called in the first place. AJ needs to get back. He does. Barkley was unstoppable when he was given the ball because, yes, we did not run the ball enough. The fact that Saquon Barkley did not touch the ball till the second, well, he had a pass catch, but didn't have a rush till the second quarter is a little shocking to me. Steve's back on that apology tour again because we can see the good and the bad. Yeah. Hey, all the EOP team, look, I can't help it, guys. Everybody loves to come comment on my show, K1. It's not just you guys. Why would you listen to any other morning? If you're going to listen to this morning sports talk, whether you're part of EOP or not, why would you listen to any other morning show? I know everybody else likes to try to copy me, but I've set the trends here and set the standards, and this is the number one morning show. This is where everybody wants to come to talk, not just you guys. Throw the RPO plays in the trash, please. The read option is dead to me. The read, I'm saying it, and he said it too. There we go. Yeah, I'm sure Matty B's got some kind of Howie Roseman blame on yesterday's win. RPO is a run pick offense when Jalen runs it. Yeah, basically, it's a read option. It's terrible. Hurts audible to Dallas is a great sign. Absolutely. In 3 weeks, this team found a way to lose a sure win and found a way to win a sure loss. It's a good way to put it, Marshawn. The Saints didn't want to win that game. This is A.J. Brown's team, not Jalen Hurts. This is Devin White's team. Can we shout out for a second Devin White? Still a game day inactive, but I think it was like the third quarter. Zach Bond made a huge play on defense to stop the Saints, and there's Devin White slapping him, pumping him up, firing him up. What a leader Devin White is being on the side. He should be playing, first off, because Bryce Huff is useless out there. But you know what? He's not letting them stop him be a part of this team. And the leadership and maturity you're seeing from Devin White on the sideline, love it. Love it. Almost 30 turnovers in 2 years. Can't wait to be play calling or bad routes. Look, it's not all play calling and bad routes, obviously. The interception was a bad route and a bad play call. Plain and simple. They're not all like that, Mike. So don't throw it at that point, Phil. Why is he could throw it away. I agree. For sure. It's a timing route. It's you throw the ball before the receiver even breaks out of the route. Devontae Smith is one of the best wide receivers in football. Maybe a little too much trust from Jalen Hurts there. Maybe Jalen Hurts has to be smarter and not trust that play and just throw it away. I get that. That's fine. But again, Kellen Moore calling the play and putting Jalen Hurts in that position to make the decision. We know Jalen Hurts makes bad decisions from time to time. I can admit that, Marshawn. He makes bad decisions. So as the coach calling the plays, you can't put your quarterback in a position to have to make that tough call. So, yes, the play execution was Jalen Hurts' fault. But the play call that set that up was Kellen Moore's fault. Just trying to make sure we give equal blame where it's due. Last time Eagles won the turnover battle was the Chiefs game last year. It's been a while. Underrated storyline. It feels like the last 2 weeks Jalen Hurts has been throwing between the hashes more. Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely see it more and more every single week. I took off today. Steve's a little sick today. Yeah. Steve just wants to create more videos for YouTube. To keep boosting up the YouTube feed. I love it though. Also, AKA I had too many ciders last night. Dude, I did. So after vacation, I didn't have a drink for like 4 straight days. Then yesterday I had some beers during the game. We went out to dinner, had a few beers, came home, had a little rum. And I'm feeling it this morning. That was without a doubt the most emotional Eagles game. It was an emotional roller coaster for sure. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Rory, I'm so far behind on comments. Yeah, I failed. I hate ciders, by the way. Ciders are so overrated. At 34 years old and a severe head injury, Lane Johnson might want to. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to find out. No, that wasn't my best segue. It wasn't. It's going to be the over for sure. I was expecting a turnover in the red zone that second drive. No, you can't blame me for it. I get it. Yes, they were. Johanna Dotson ran the perfect route to get those 3 players. Absolutely. But Marcus Haystack's out there blaming or saying the Eagles got lucky. Load of horse crap. Dotson should get more credit for that play. Absolutely. But you got some idiot out there saying, no, it's not up to him. Conte West is someone who doesn't make excuses. Conte is somebody that doesn't want to be found on the list. That's all. 17 games times 2, 34 turnovers. Would that be a record of all time for a Super Bowl quarterback? Yeah. Oh man. The more and more I read about those tapes and those freak offs, oh man. It's scary, honestly. I ate her liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Um, the mind boggles, Marshawn, yeah. Deebs, yeah. All right. Let me try to catch up here so we can do more here. Clint Hurt should have yeah. Bryce Huff has one or two more games to make an impact. Otherwise, I'd like Jalen Hunt should have gotten snaps last night. He should have, plain and simple. Said it all week long, but he didn't. Yeah. Gotta have beers instead. Gotta have a good IP. I was drinking some cloudy and cumbersomes yesterday at the bar. Bryce Huff, is Byron Maxwell bad? No, I disagree. Because Byron Maxwell was good for several years in Seattle. We knew he was a system cornerback. Bryce Huff was good for 1 year. He was a one-hit wonder. It was like, what was that band? Like late 90s, early 2000s alternative rock I'm thinking of. Yeah, Can't Get What You Give. I don't know. What was that song called? Guy was like, it was like a I'm thinking of a song. And they were such a one-hit wonder. They're kind of like the Oneaters with That Thing You Do. That's Bryce Huff. Kellen Moore cannot fly under the radar here. Um, Great points on the hashes. Absolutely. He was really making Hurts look like Dakota. Hurts is tied with Mahomes this year in EPA per play. They are both 12th. Patrick Mahomes don't look Patrick Mahomes-esque anymore. 99% sure Jalen Hunt is a better player than Bryce Huff. I might put it like 99.8 at this point. Last week's game wasn't the most emotional. I died and rose back to life and died again. Dude, I gashed my head open last week. So yeah, I got Chris Deeps. I don't know. I wasn't watching the post-game show. I just jumped in to put a comment. No brain injuries. And I was getting post-show comments from people watching it on replay saying there weren't head injuries to Lane Johnson. I'm like, oh my God. People don't get the inside joke. Shouldn't make inside jokes in the comments. I'm working on Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean, and Quinyon Mitchell videos right now. Love it. Nakobe Dean, underrated, had a great game yesterday. He had that one play where he got beat by Chris Olave. Should never have been put in that position. Nickelback had more than one good hit. Well, supposedly. I hate Nickelback, though. I think they suck. You get what you give. That's what it is. Yeah. What was the name of that band? You get what you give. They were one-hit wonders, man. I still hear it on the radio all the time. Why do people say that the game was last night? Because I'm old, Mitchy Poo. 4 o'clock is like past the early bird special. I missed the early bird special because of the game. I'm old. I don't stay up till 2 a.m. like you. Bryce Huff is a flagpole sitter. Flock of seagulls. That's not who I was thinking of. Closing time for Bryce Huff. Yeah, let's get out all the late 90s, early 2000s song references to describe Bryce Huff here today. New Radicals. That was their name. The New Radicals. Thank you, TMC. Appreciate it. The New Radicals, man. That was a bad band. The Oneaters is hilarious. Dude, it's one of my favorite music movies of all time. I used to play that soundtrack all the time. Okay? I still feel bad that they never actually gave the bass player an actual name in the movie. He was just the bass player. That's it. Fantastic. Fantastic movie. And there's a video. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Marshawn. If you think the movie's cool, there's a video of 3 of them. I forget, it was obviously Patterson, the drummer. It was Steven Zane or Zane, whatever. 3 of them just happened to be at a bar together, and they got up on stage and played the song. So they actually were trained in playing the music instruments. And sometimes, Marshawn, you'll hear me make a joke that nobody gets on here. I'll say Captain Geach and the Chimp Track Shooters. And only a true fan of that movie knows what that means. Beastie Boys, no. Wu-Tang Clan, stop. Last Call for Alcohol. Yeah. Man, let's just fire through all these names. Every time I look at Bryce Huff, I have to remind myself, don't look back in anger. Yeah. The guy's just a bust. And I questioned it as soon as they signed him. I questioned the Bryce Huff thing. Yesterday makes you realize how fortunate Kelsey was to never have a head injury. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bryce Huff's first 3 games with the Eagles, bittersweet sympathy. It's a bittersweet symphony. And yeah, I know that one. We're going back to the Y100 days with some of this music. If you know what that means, you're old like me. None of the Eagles' edge rushers have sacks. Is Bryce Huff the problem, or is it Fangio's system? It's a combination of things, Mista. I think this is still something that we need to discuss. The lack of getting sacks on quarterbacks. Partly, we've played a lot of two of the last three quarterbacks get rid of the ball very fast. Our edge rushers suck. We don't blitz. Vic Fangio doesn't blitz a lot, so it's part of the system. So it's a combination of things. We don't have an elite edge rusher. Nolan Smith, non-existent. Bryce Huff, non-existent. When Brandon Graham is your best edge rusher at 35 years old, that's a problem. At this moment, I know there's a lot of injuries, but if I'm Howie Roseman, I'm still on the market looking for an edge rusher right now. That's why it confuses me that Jags Hunt can't get on the field and they won't activate Devin White. Maybe Huff turns it around in the fall, make it November rain. Look at you guys. Once I throw something out there to you guys, you guys just never miss. You guys never disappoint with those things. You know who else never disappoints? PhillySportsTrips.com. They had a great trip down to New Orleans for this thing. Check them out. PhillySportsTrips.com. If you want to travel to see your favorite team, go up to in October to see the Eagles take on the New York Giants. They're running a trip down to Tampa next week when he goes home there. We got the trip to Dallas takeover when we march into Dallas and beat the Cowboys. Obviously, a trip to the bus trip to Baltimore. Guys, PhillySportsTrips.com. When you sign up on their website, make sure you mention EOP. Make sure you mention Trending the AM to the crew there, guys. You don't want to miss out. If you want to travel, PhillySportsTrips.com. That's the place to use right there, guys. Bob Tiggity. Oh, man, what is your favorite song of all time? It's a tough one. Probably Tracks of Your Tears from Smokey Robinson. Probably my favorite song of all time. Right there. Yeah, not probably. It is my favorite song of all time. 100%. Probably second favorite song. Toss up between Tin Cup Chalice and Migration from Jimmy Buffett. Migration probably wins out on that just because of the words of the song. A lot of the songs I like are because the words resonate. Not necessarily it's a great song, but if the words resonate to me, and those two songs, the words resonate to me a lot. It's the system. Bryce needs to learn to fly. Are you sitting there you're not even paying attention to the rest of the show. You're just grinding your brain this Monday morning. No. It wasn't a Jimmy Buffett thing. It was Smokey Robinson. Tracks of My Tears. It's a great song. And it means there's a lot of deep meaning. I know it sounds like a love song, but it's a deep song. If you really think about what Tracks of Your Tears means, it's a very, very good song. Refs robbed Falcons, obviously pass interference. Yes. The Chiefs are 3-0 because of the refs. Bryce Huff not playing, help the defense. Howie fail. Yeah, exactly. Where's Matty B to criticize Howie on that one? I'm losing my voice today. 9 out of 10 ad read. I think I'm losing my voice this morning. I think I'm too fired up on this show today. I think I'm going to lose my voice. No. Missed on that one. Yep. See, you guys are missing out, but I'm giving you the over. So, Nick has such a dictator persona and Jalen wants to be an Avenger so bad. Everyone wants to. Oh my God. We need to skip Payless. I have a segment. It's not really a skip. If anything, it's going to be calling myself out, Mitchie Poo. So I have something written down that I want to go off on later in the show. So it won't be really a skip. Well, I guess the skip Payless. Here, you know what we'll do? We'll use the skip Payless segment to again. Oh, I got to take your comment off so they could see the skip Payless face. To call out the idiot Marcus Hayes. And you know what? If you're a Marcus Hayes fan, good for you. And you can tell him I said that. The idiot Marcus Hayes for saying that Dallas Goedert catch was luck because the Saints screwed up and not giving any credit to the play design and the play execution on that. Marcus Hayes is the Skip Payless idiot of the day for that comment. That's it. That is it right there. Skip Payless hot take. I could change this logo and just put Marcus Hayes' face where Skip Payless is right there. God damn. Such a stupid thing to say. Tracks My Tears. It's an amazing song. It brings tears to my eyes every time I hear it. And when I hear it, the radio gets cranked up and I sing at the top of my lungs. Lost voice or not. Nick is going to have to give us more than words to gain our trust back. Yeah, for sure. Southern Cross is not even a Jimmy Buffett song. It's a cover, but he actually covers the song better than there's a lot of bands out there that do covers better than the originals. Like Dave Matthews and All Along the Watchtower is better than all the covers of All Along the Watchtower are better than the original. But Migration is my favorite Jimmy Buffett song at the moment. Bro, they hammered me on my ad misreads last week. I did recover well, pile two. Gotcha. Did you need a lawyer? Did they hammer you too hard? If you need representation, Freddie Burns, then you can call the greatest lawyer in the state of Pennsylvania, David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm. Whether you need a workers' compensation lawyer, motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or criminal law, you call the best. You call David R. Cherry at 610-565-0300. You go to cherryinjurylaw.com and let David R. Cherry fight for you and get you what you deserve. Freddie, if you deserve some compensation from the torture that the Court 12 gave you, call David R. Cherry. Again, his number is 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Guys, you're watching Trend in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Please smash that like button, that share button, that subscribe button, follow button, whichever platform you're watching on. Hit those buttons and spread the word. Number one sports morning show in Philadelphia, online or on the dial. You don't want to miss it, guys. We're here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Right back to the comments here as they continue to roll in. We need receipts when Phil said stop. Oh, I'm getting heat on that. Look, I said it on the Phillies, and I don't want to get on a Phillies tangent. This is the most underwhelming, best record in baseball team I've ever seen. They just are. And I still think the Phillies are going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. I do. Skip Payless should be Skip Pay No Mind list. Okay, that's fine. I like to skip Payless, just like I called Dan Sillyman and Chris Simpleton and Marcus Haystack. Yeah, Maddie's saving it for tonight. Marcus Haystack. It's just, I don't know. I don't even know where I used to call Charlie Hayes, former Phillies third baseman, Charlie Haystack. I don't know why. Yeah, and he's an idiot. My job, I want to look, I don't care about my job. I want to be able to look at myself in the mirror at the end of the day. That's what I do. I can say stupid ass things like Marcus Haystack. Sure. But then I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the mirror. If he's okay looking at himself in the mirror when he says something stupid and asinine like that, good for him. But he's an idiot. Yep. Cherry bombs. All rolling in. Like that clown Josh Ennis. Josh Ennis used to annoy the hell out of me too. For sure. What happened there? There we go. Freddie did okay in a relief roll. It was a relief roll, yeah. But he called David R. Cherry to help him out. Nick's presser was cringeworthy, like stop with the that's what a man does. He also lied. Kellen didn't call that play. Jalen called an audible. So even he didn't know who was responsible for the Goddard play. I had to go back and re-listen to the whole thing. I've only seen bits and pieces of the presser. Freddie answered the call like Dallas. That's right. We called out a couple players entering the week. Jalen Carter, Dallas Goddard. Guess what? They answered. They answered the call. So let's be excited. Let's be happy. Just think of it this way. The Saints offense had 91 points through the first two games of the season. Yes, against the Carolina Panthers and the Cowboys, who lost again yesterday and 1-2. We held the Saints to 12 points and 219 yards. And the Eagles offense, for the interceptions and turnovers, still put up 460 yards of offense. Lost the turnover battle again and won. All my keys to victory. Let me recap my keys to victory here for a second. Stop Alvin Kamara at the line of contact. They did that. Get pressure, because you're not going to sack David Carr, but pressure him. He'll make mistakes. He did that. Dallas Goddard had to be utilized. He did. Third and shorts have to turn into third and longs. They did that. Keep Derek Carr's completion percentage down. Only completed 56% of his things. All my keys to victory hit. But yeah, we're only going to be focused on the fourth down calls and the two turnovers. Not even going to acknowledge that the pay no mind list was a Goodfellas reference. We get the references. Not addressing the references is better than addressing them. Makes them more subtle. Phils aren't making it easy for their fans to envision postseason success. Absolutely. Like I said, the most underwhelming best team ever. It's crazy. The Phillies won't make I only made one joke the Phillies won't make the playoffs. All right? One joke I made about that, okay? But one I haven't backed down on, I made them many of times, is the Phillies will not win a playoff series. I shouldn't say first round. because they'll probably have the first round bye. Their first series, they will not win. That's just my opinion because they underwhelmed the hell out of me. My son said, "Woo, where that come from, Phil?" Off that Marcus Hayes comment. It's so sick. What's up, Reagan? Are the Phillies just trying to avoid the playoffs bye after what happened to all the bye? Yeah, maybe they're trying. They're using reverse psychology there. They don't want the first round bye. No, Rick, that's not what they're doing. That is not what they're doing. Training. Yeah, Eric R. trained the next to the core 12. Exactly. Nick said turnovers are all on him because his dad said with great power comes great responsibility. Oh my God. It's been an interesting conversation today. That wasn't a joke at the time. That was skipping it. No, it was a passionate. It wasn't a joke. It was a passionate overreaction, heat of the moment thing. Okay. I didn't pick out one key moment and say that that's luck or whatever. Like, I think what Marcus Hayes did and what I said, totally different. Mine was heat of the moment. He was just being an idiot. And if you want to, if you want to continue carrying Marcus Hayes bags for him, be my guest. You want to continue supporting him, be my guest, Marshawn. And you go tell him when you go watch whatever he does or reads whatever he does, tell him that I'm calling him out for being an idiot, okay? Just going to tell you. I think Marshawn might be maybe the brother of Marcus Hayes or something like that. He's standing up for Marcus Hayes in here. Sirianni's sitting nice up there as head coach because Roseman wants head coach to follow orders. You know what, Travis? You might not be wrong on that one. I'll tell you, you might not be wrong on that one at all. Losing the turnover battle on the road against a team with a better record and winning the game happens exactly less than 1%. Probably not. I don't have to fact check that. It's probably accurate, Nooms, for sure. Nick's dad asked him, "Why do we fall, Nick?" To which Nick replied, "I have vengeance." You mad? Why you mad? Oh, man. I'm never mad. You know why? Because I always look at the bright side of things. That's what I do. I like to keep the bright side of things. And you know what? You would never be mad if you went to Dawn's Bar in Ridley Park, 24 East Sellers Avenue. Great food, great times for 65 plus years. The quintessential Irish American dive bar in Delaware County. Head on over there. Check out the place, Dawn's Bar. Check out with PJ and the crew. Let them know EOP Trend in the AM sent you. This is the place to be for game day if you're in the Delaware County area, guys. You never even know. Sometimes famous athletes and celebrities pop on in there as well. So check them out, Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park, guys. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, dolansbar.com. Check them out. Bright side, beard Phil. Yeah. Look, I like to look at the bright side. I don't like to be a Debbie Downer all the time. I don't like to be the Mr. Negadelphian, as I'm called all the time. Oh, I'm just looking at my notes. This is totally off topic. We want to be negative for a second? We crush Bryce Huff all the time, right? What about Nolan Smith? Nolan Smith doesn't, at least he got a tackle or two in the game, but he wasn't very good. But I wrote down something here that not one person has mentioned in this show, and only like 2 people in the entirety of Twitter have mentioned about Nolan Smith, okay? He can't affect the game on defense, and he fails in special teams. Nobody talks about that block punt. Again, lucky that they didn't change the tides of the game. Nolan Smith is the one that got beat by the defender of the Saints that blocked that punt. Why is everybody's crushing Bryce Huff? Rightfully so. Why is nobody crushing Nolan Smith? Where's the Nolan Smith, slander on the timeline? That blocked punt was 100% solely his fault. Hate to tell it. You don't look on the bright side of things only when it comes to Jalen. I've been here long enough to say that. You have been here long enough. You're one of the originals. You're one of the OGs. I do get negative sometimes, especially with the Sixers and Phillies. And look, at least I've changed a little bit, Marshawn. I am willing to admit that Jalen Hurts has to be better. But I'm also willing to compliment Jalen Hurts when he leads the team in the fourth quarter to victory with 5 starters or 5 regulars out of the game. Well, 4 on offense, 1 on defense. So I'm looking at objectively from both sides. That's what I'm doing. He did get beat on that punt, but that punter held onto the ball too long. Come on. Making excuses for Nolan Smith. I can't make excuses for Jalen Hurts, but I can make excuses for Nolan Smith. Nolan Nolan Smith is a bust. No more 220-pound. Yeah, done. Done. Spot on. Like every minute that ticks, I'm getting closer and closer to being able to admit that Nolan Smith might not be him. I'm just glad we have Kenny Gainwell on this team. Is K1 still in the chat? K1's the Kenny Gainwell burner account, or Stan account. What does Kenny Gainwell even do? I saw him miss a couple, blitz pickups when he was in the game yesterday. I didn't say last night. I said yesterday, Mitchie Poo. You don't take 13 steps to punt the ball. All right. It's just reality. Don't be too cocky, Nick, because father doesn't like prideful people. I'd rather have Nolan Smith out there than Bryce Huff. At least I know Nolan will at least try to set the edge. Try. Not successfully, but he'll try. I just want to throw it out there because no one's talking about Nolan Smith. Why is a pass rusher being put in a position to block on spec? Well, that's another topic. It's another topic. It's like putting your player, like, why is Nakobe Dean guarding Chris Olave in open field? You know what I mean? Like some of the coaching decisions from the head coach to the play callers to the play designers leave a little bit to be desired. Somebody be huffing and puffing. A piglet hair never gets. I'm huffing and puffing right now. I don't know why I'm struggling. I'm losing my voice this morning too much here. I'm too fired up. I'm too passionate. Bottom of this cup of coffee tastes like shit. Can we replace Nolan or Huff with Hunt? Yeah, dude. Saying it all day. I've been saying it since last week. And Alex Hunt is dressing. He's playing on special teams. Alex Hunt played 9 special team snaps yesterday. I got the snap count up here. Let me zoom in on. There we go. Zoom in on that a little bit. Nakobe. Let's see. Jalen Carter played 50 snaps. That was 89%. Milton Williams played 66% of the snaps. Brandon Graham 62%. Maddox 52%. Jordan Davis 52%. Nolan Smith played 38% of the snaps. Bryce Huff 32%. Ajomo played 29% of snaps. Thomas Booker 18%. That's your main snap counts outside of the 4 guys that played 100% of the snaps. Just so you guys know your snap counts. Sirianni is trying to do too much, making weird decisions because he isn't calling plays and trying to prove that he still adds something, trying to assert his dominance. Yeah, I might have lost a little bit here or there, but I'm still the man in charge here. Maybe there's a little bit of that going on. Maybe. On special teams, Nolan is supposed to block his inside gap. He did his job. The special teams coordinator to make adjustments. See, everybody, I can't make excuses for Jalen Hurts, but I just gave you guys a layup to make excuses for Nolan Smith. We should only call him Nolan. He has to earn his Smith. Yeah. Does Howie know how to evaluate players? Zach Bond, the best free agent signing, was all Vic Fangio. Zach Bond was Fangio. Bryce Huff was Howie. Plain and simple. And that's not trying to say one thing or another. 100% accurate. Huff, what's his tape? He was waiting for the money and retire early. Plans I don't know. Bryce Huff I said it the second he was signed. His track record wasn't big enough for the contract he was given. I said it could backfire. Good morning, Brad. How you doing? Checking in. How them Philadelphia Eagles, and how do you think the Eagles can beat the Buccaneers next week? I'm not even ready, Brad, to think about the Buccaneers because I can't predict how to beat the Buccaneers till I know one key thing. Well, 5 key things. Is Lane Johnson going to be healthy? Is Devontae Smith going to be healthy? Is Britton Covey going to be healthy? Is Darius Slay going to be healthy? And is Mekhi Becton going to be healthy? Till we know the status of our 5 injured players, which I have a feeling 2 or 3 of them are not going to be playing. Lane and Devontae probably won't. Britton Covey, I'm on the fence for. So until we know about our 5 key injured players, we can't even start thinking about the Buccaneers game. So first injury reports Wednesday. Wednesday is when we will learn the truths about what we can start thinking about the Bucs. The Bucs just got beat by Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos, okay? So just like the Saints weren't as good as their 2-0 record, the Bucs weren't as good as their 2-0 record. So let's do that. Does anybody know if the Eagles are flying home, or do they just fly right to Tampa? When you fly, they've flown so much. And I know everybody likes to sleep in their own bed and be home, use their own facilities for practice and stuff. But it used to, back in the day, sometimes when you had back-to-back Southern games like that, you would just stay down south, team bonding kind of thing, stuff like that. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are flying home. But till then, we can't even start thinking about the Buccaneers. Avante played more snaps than I realized yesterday, Nooms. I said it just a minute ago. What was it? 29 snaps, 52% of the snaps. And the fact that I didn't think he was on the field that much means he wasn't making mistakes, Nooms. So he stepped up his game of touch. Yeah, Tampa Bay got smoked by the Broncos, and the Broncos stink. So that tells you something about them. Talk about Fred Johnson and Steen more. Dude, those guys. You know, words cannot describe how excellent those two gentlemen played yesterday and stepped up in a tough moment. When you're losing, you're starting right guard who's been playing well, and you're all pro, Hall of Fame, right tackle Lane Johnson. Tip of the cap to everybody involved, the players, the coaches, to have these guys ready to go. I was not a fan of Fred Johnson in training camp. Didn't even know if he was going to make the 53-man roster. Wasn't sure if he should. Tyler Steen at least has that third round draft pick pedigree. He was supposed to be something. He just wasn't yet. Dude, those two guys, massive tip of the cap to him. That might have been the worst managed game in Nick Sirianni's era. That was so bad. Time management was atrocious before the fourth down decision. Jalen completed a long pass, no-brainer timeout. Instead, they bled 20 seconds off the clock. Look, we are going to talk probably a lot more about Nick Sirianni tomorrow in a more objective light and less, me just saying move on because we won. I'm enjoying the win today, Freddie. But tomorrow, yes, we're going to talk a lot more about Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts tomorrow. For sure. You have to. Did anyone see Lane Johnson get hit? No. They said he was sick before the game, but then he got a concussion, was thrown up. I mean, Big Dom literally had, first and foremost, can offensive linemen stop being macho? Like when an offensive lineman is injured, and one of the Saints guys it happened to too, like just let a cart take you to the locker room. Why do you got to struggle off the field like that and be macho? Just let a cart take you back. You know what I mean? Lane Johnson had a Big Dom pretty much carry him to the locker room. Just get on a cart if it's that hard. But no, nobody saw it. Nobody even replayed the last play. We don't know how Mekhi Becton got hurt because they didn't replay any of that. They're very bad with Eagles injuries on broadcasts. Did everyone forget about how Cam can't fill up legend shoes? So yeah, true. Cam Jurgens has done fantastic. Like I can't believe Cam Jurgens has stepped in so seamlessly. The only thing he's got to work on his snaps. He had another bad snap yesterday in shotgun. Luckily, Jalen Hurts caught it this time. But there was another bad snap from Cam Jurgens. Do you also think the Phillies can still the National League East at home starting today against they're gonna win the NL East at some point here this week? When I don't know. Hopefully they keep the first round bye. We'll see. My confidence level, like I said, I've said it multiple times, Brad, on this show today. When Phillies come up in conversation, they are the most underwhelming, best record in baseball type team I can ever remember. So it's kind of sad, honestly. I'm mad that Slay let that fat slide go. Yeah, look, I can't believe someone on the Eagles didn't take a cheap shot on that lineman. And it's second week in a row that guy's taking a player out with that kind of a play. Suspend that mother bleep it a bleeper. Hopefully Darius Slay's back because Keely Ringo obviously ain't it. Maybe he is, and it was just a bad spot for Keely Ringo to be in. Here's a question for you. I'm looking at it. Let me relook at this here. How come Keely Ringo, not Isaiah Rodgers, was out there for Slay? How come? Isaiah Rodgers was supposed to be a starting outside corner opposite of Darius Slay with Quinyon Mitchell in the middle. Quinyon Mitchell solidified himself as the outside starter. Isaiah Rodgers is healthy. Darius Slay goes down. Why wasn't Isaiah Rodgers? Why was it Keely Ringo? That's just something that just jumped into my head. Isaiah Rodgers didn't play one defensive snap yesterday. Dallas Dotson and Barkley next game. Going to have to be. Love the adjustments and five-man front from Fangio this week. The offense was just crazy sloppy for once. It'd be nice to have the offense and defense the offense and defense teams plays well at the same time, we're going to win 40-0, in games. Like, that's how good it could be. It's why we never see Eagles blow out wins anymore. Yeah, true. We're never all 100% in sync. Philadelphia's the only city where you can experience the thrill of victory and the agony of reading about it the next day. It's true. I mean, it ain't. Freddie, say what you will about Mike Schmidt, but he's not wrong with this comment. He is not wrong. It is a very truthful comment at this point. Got to put Big Dom to work. Man has 3 job titles and he can't even hold Jalen Carter. Dude, somebody's got to put. I almost used the word leash there. That would be a very wrong choice of words there. Somebody's got to learn to control Jalen Carter's emotions. Maybe give him a little CBD before the game or something. Yeah, somebody's got to have his back. I would have thought Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the guy's willing to get in everybody's face at all times. Darius Slay gets destroyed, and nobody's got his back. Throwing Keely Ringo out there to replace Slay and put him 10 yards back was a crime. But he also had poor technique. I mean, spun himself around, put in a bad position, tough position. Hey, compliments to the Saints for realizing that situation and attacking it. Give him credit there. I guess give credit to Saints too. Fangio took a gamble with not putting Rodgers for Slay. Yeah, exactly. And if Slay can't go next week, it's probably Rodgers that starts, in my opinion, not Ringo, in my opinion. Struggling off the field fires the team up. The cart is the chair. Yeah, no. I'm all for carrying the cart. Yeah, called out everybody after the game. Yeah, but what about during the game? Use your, show some emotion on the field too. Look, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is a tough cat for me. The dude makes so many big plays, but he also gets beat up so many times and misses. I think he leads the league in missed tackles still. He was tied for the lead after the game or before the game. He had 1 or 2 this week. He's a boom bust guy. He chirps so much. But he's one of those passionate, fiery guys that kind of, when going's good, he helps push the team even better. When the going gets bad, it could be a problem. Keely Ringo is not Quinyon Mitchell. He's a press corner, just dumb. Yeah. He didn't get the gamble joke. I get all the jokes. Good morning, Barbara. Jalen Hurts did play well. Outside of 2 turnovers. One was not entirely his fault. It was his fault, but it wasn't his fault. We've dove into it a lot today, Barbara. We'll dissect it a little bit more in detail tomorrow. But Jalen Hurts, with all the injuries, was able to lead the game-winning drive. We've already went over his stats in the 4th quarter and how great they were, Barbara. So, yeah, got to be better. But he was pretty damn good. Eagles got to get back to dominating time and possession. Yeah, I mean, look, you can't let Saquon Barkley touch the ball as little as he did yesterday. Just saying. He's the most dominating running back we've had in this city since when? Who was the last running back since LaShawn McCoy? Football games is like prison gangs. Once other teams see you get pushed around, everyone else thinks you're soft, and they're going to, that's true. It's fair. I mean, it's a fair statement. Guys, I want to close with one non-Eagles thing here before we start the wrap-up process and set the stage for the rest of the week. Oh, no way you see it. Look, I've been on both sides of the fence with Jalen Hurts today. I'm criticizing him and complimenting him, just so you know. I want to throw something out there. I am disappointed in myself, okay? I am. I totally forgot. Honestly, I didn't even know that the Savannah Bananas were in Philadelphia playing in Citizens Bank Park on Saturday night. And I know a lot of my followers went to the Savannah Bananas game. And let me tell you something. The videos I saw of the Savannah Bananas baseball game at Citizens Bank Park, I've seen their videos before, the stuff they pull. And when celebrities show up, like John Cena showing up and whatnot, they put on a hell of a show in front of 46,000 people. And you guys know me. I don't like crowds. I don't like going to big events. I am so disappointed that I wasn't at that game. Yes, Ryan Howard struck out. The Flying Hawaiian was there. Joe Blanton pitched a few batters. Jamie Moyer pitched to a few batters. Ryan Howard struck out. Huge, entrance. Then struck out. Come on, the guy probably hasn't swung a baseball bat in a while. That was literally looked like one of the most entertaining things I've seen in ages. And if they ever come back to Philly, I'm going to make sure I am there. If I'm ever on vacation in a town that they're performing in, I am going to be there. That was some amazing entertainment, and you gotta love it. Barbrisi, what? Y'all didn't listen to Sirianni. He said it's his fault Jalen threw those interceptions. Yeah, look, it's a bad play call, plain and simple. Is it wrong that I have LeGarrette Blount ahead of Brian Westbrook? Probably because we won a Super Bowl, right? Yeah, it's extremely wrong. Yeah. Brian Westbrook is on the Mount Rushmore of Eagles running backs. It's probably McCoy, Westbrook, Saquon, and what's his name from the 80s? Why am I drawing a brain fart? Your Mount Rushmore of Eagles running backs right there. Yeah. But I just want to say how disappointed I was myself for missing out on the Savannah Bananas. And like I said, I put out a tweet about it, and literally, like, I think half of the 46,000 people must follow me on Twitter because they were all commenting about how great it was on my timeline. Anyway, let's start the wrap-up process here a little bit. You know, obviously, Eagles won 15-12. Ugly, beautiful win. Lots of good, lots of negative. We won't overreact as much tomorrow. As stats and more details break down about the game, we'll be able to get a better understanding of this Eagles team. As the week goes on, we'll get a better understanding. Maybe there will be some more Phillies talk if they clinch their division tomorrow. Wilbert Montgomery, sorry, my bad. That was who I was thinking of. So Montgomery, Westbrook, Shady, Saquon Barkley. Already after 3 games, I'm putting Saquon Barkley on the Mount Rushmore of Eagles running backs. Damn straight I am. But yeah, not just because we won, but more he was automatic and didn't miss a beat. Dude, it was a great signing when you brought LeGarrette Blount here. It really was. And then you added Jay Ajayi halfway through the season. It was great. But anyway, as today unfolds, as the analytic content creators put out all their information for me to steal, and I'll give them some the good ones I'll give credit to. We'll have something better to understand and break down the good, the bad. We'll learn more about how bad was Jalen Hurts or how good he really was. Once I see the stats and the percentages on why to go and not to go for it on 4th downs each play, we can criticize Nick Sirianni a little bit more or a little bit less, probably a little bit more. So as today goes on, we'll learn more and more, and that's how we'll dive into tomorrow's show, a more honest opinion and breakdown of the game instead of overreacting. So please bring an open mind to tomorrow. If I find information that proves that Jalen Hurts is pretty good, open mind. If I come on here and admit that Jalen Hurts was bad, open mind. Maybe the Sixers or Phillies, win their division tonight. We'll find out about that tonight. Do they? Yeah, they play tonight. They don't have a game day off today. But anyway, to wrap this all up, the Eagles win an exciting game against the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. No matter what, they were able to survive. They got the win. And I know Marshawn's going to hate me when I say this to end the show. An ugly win is still a win. My man Hembo. I don't know if you guys know Hembo. It's Mike Greenberg's producer and producer extraordinaire. Put it out there before the game that no fan base in the NFL, whether you're 3-0, 1-2, or 0-3, should overreact after week 3 of the NFL. But here we are overreacting to it. Yeah, I wish. Tip jar's open. People are still watching baseball. I watched like 2 innings of the baseball game last night, and like half the baseball game and like half the football game last night. Was bouncing back and forth between both of it because why not? But yeah, baseball. We're almost in Red October here. Devontae is from Louisiana. He's going to tell his cousins to jump that guy. Yeah, is that right? Maybe. You never know. But with that being said, guys, we're going to start the wrap-up process. Hit that like button, that share button, the subscribe and follow button wherever you're watching. If you're watching this on replay, drop your comments. I check all replay comments as well if I get the notification. So do that and tune in live every single day if you're watching on this replay, 8 a.m. to 9:30. You can listen to this in your car. It's plug and play. You can plug your phone into your car and listen to YouTube in your car, guys. You can do that. Turn the dial off. Turn Edge of Philly Sports 7-day-a-week programming right here. Didn't get a chance. I don't even think I saw the new schedule. Big Al, what are you doing? I didn't see the new schedule in the group chat. Come on now. Get on with that. But we'll have the schedule for you tomorrow. 7-day-a-week program. You don't want to miss it. There's going to be so much Eagles content, Phillies content on this channel all week long, wrestling content, you name it. They talk about it right here on this channel, guys. So like, share, subscribe, follow. I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Training in the AM. Same bat channel, same bat time. But with that said, guys, ring the bell. Go Birds, and bubbles up to y'all.